Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm great, Matt. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking.
Wonderful. The new host here, 90 Day Fiancé Love Games. What is the obsession that I guess America currently has with 90 Day Fiancé? What is it about that show that gets people so excited to talk about it?
I think people can really relate to it because who hasn't fought distance or language or culture for the one they love, right?
Sure.
And so what 90 Day franchise, the 90 Day franchise is that it's been able to untap the commonality that we all have when it comes to connecting with somebody. I mean, and what this show does is that this show is the next iteration of getting all these couples that we have fallen in love with. We've seen them fight, all of these incredible circumstances to get married, and then we revisit them through this game show format, which is all love games all the time, and it's all fun.
And
I don't know.
I'm assuming a lot of drama because there's plenty of that in the shows.
Listen, there's always drama because it's part reality TV. We've seen these we've seen these couples go through the gauntlet. So you do see the bruising of the egos. You see them coming face to face with jealousy. There's some there's some tough words that are said, even within the couples. Because let me ask you a question: when you're sitting next to your spouse or your partner, I mean, do you know everything about them? And now we're playing for points and we're moving in rounds. So it kind of takes all of those little nuanced elements and put it in a game show format. And these couples, they want bragging rights. They want to be the king and queen of the 90 Day franchise. So they get a chance to do just that.
Look, we play games on this show where there is literally nothing at stake, and the competitive nature of us is so. I mean, we have stormed out of the studio before because it gets to be a problem. So I get it. The competitive nature, regardless of what's on the line, the bragging rights is enough.
Yeah, love is competitive, right?
So, there's a lot of criticism about a lot of people say, reality shows are just scripted, blah, blah, blah. But that's kind of the beauty of a game show format is you don't have to fight that scripted narrative. What is the refreshing thing about doing this in a game show format?
Yeah, I mean, they basically have to answer the questions correct to get the points, and you sort of see their vulnerabilities because you get to know whether they actually know each other as well as you think they would know each other. The other part about this show is that you meet these couples right where they are. So maybe you saw them a couple of seasons ago and they were just getting married and they were just starting their journey together. You get to see if those little things, those little cracks that you were able to witness when they first got together still exist, or are they happy? I mean, there are some people who are just living the best life here as a couple after having documented their journey on the 90 Day franchise. I mean, there are some people who are having kids who are thriving. So, yeah, it is reality TV because I guess you see them documenting their journey about their love. But then after the cameras are off, I mean, they're on their own. They're kind of struggling just like the rest of us to raise their kids, their jobs, family, loss, infertility, whatever it is. So that's real life playing out in real time. What Love Games does is it's in a game show format, but you get to check back in to see how they're doing, and you get to root for them all over again.
So who are we going to see? We probably won't see every single couple that's ever successfully made it out of 90 Day Fiancé, but who are some of the names we're going to see on the show?
All right, so there's 24 couples that have been chosen. There's David and Annie. There's Elizabeth and Andrei. There's Tanya and Sinjin. There's Debbie and Holt. Evelyn, Corey, Robert and Annie, Stephen and Olga, Stacy and Florian, Russ and Powell, Darcy and Georgie, just to name a few of them.
Here's how I can tell you're a great host. You just ran through that list like it was nobody's business.
Well, I was a fan of the show, and so when TLC approached me to host this, I was sort of having like a pinch me moment because, like so many of us that are in this business, when you get an opportunity to do something that's completely out of the box, it just makes you, like, what's my spin on this going to be? What can my role be? How can I lend my voice differently than what's been seen before? And so I hope I do that as a fan, not only as a fan, but now I have some new friends.
There you go. Well, I'm glad you kind of brought that
No
up
through this.
because I wanted to segue into your personal career for just a second. Very impressive. 6 Emmys. Is that correct? Am I counting right? I didn't miss one, right?
Yeah. 6 Emmys.
So, and you brought up the pinch me moment. When was your first pinch me moment where you're like, wow, I'm kind of being successful, kind of doing what I really want to do? And what has been maybe your biggest pinch me moment of your career?
I mean, I think it was all rolled up in one, and for me, it has to be. I mean, I'm from New York. I was doing morning news in New York for the last 20-something years, and for me, the pinch me moment was definitely 9/11. It completely sort of crystallized who I was going to be and how I was going to use my voice. And back then, we didn't know about what platforms were. We didn't really understand social media like we do today.
Sure.
And what I realized was that I could be a voice to so many people just like me who are struggling. And so after 9/11, I was 29 years old when that happened. And so it really kind of changed my trajectory of who I wanted to be and also who I was going to be professionally in New York City to be able to help those people that struggled so much during that time and after that time. And I'm married to a New York City firefighter. And so that story hits home on many different levels. I mean, we're going to come on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. Yeah. And it's hard to believe that it's been 20 years, but it has. And, who are we as a country? Who are we as a nation? And how are we going to be able to tell this story to this next generation? Because it's a story that should never be forgotten.
That's impressive. That's awesome way to kind of paint that picture. I think that's one thing that a really good storyteller can do is paint a really good picture, and that you just did it. So kudos for that. Thank you. Who has been maybe somebody along the way that you kind of idolized or looked up to that has kind of been the inspiration for you to get to where you are now?
Oh, gosh, that's so hard. I know this is going to sound crazy, but, in my industry, and I think the industry that I've been in, it's had an evolution over the last 5 years. And I think I was part of a previous generation that maybe didn't extend a hand out to younger people that were coming up. And for that, I want to be able to change that conversation. But for me, really, I'm an immigrant to this country. It's my parents. My parents have always been the backbone, the people that have been rooting me on from the side, telling me that I could do things when I didn't know that a girl like Sukanya Krishnan could be on a national TV show. I didn't know a girl like Sukanya Krishnan could be the voice of New York morning show for, 22 plus years. I didn't know all those things were possible. So it was my parents, it was my teachers, people who really kind of built up the possibilities in my mind to dream. And I think at some point we forget to dream because life has a way of beating you up. And then all of a sudden I have this possibility again with TLC, and they have allowed me and given me this platform to connect with people on a different way. I think there's so much of us that we put out, and hopefully I'm putting out some positivity in the world that it will come back and it will kind of harness itself. So, yeah, I mean, who really inspires us? I think a lot of it is self-motivation. A lot of it is just taking the rejection and turning it into a positive. And I think those people are your family or whoever you trust to build your self-esteem back up when the world sometimes knocks you down. I will tell you, just from the 10 minutes that we've been talking, your positivity is infectious. You can feel it. So you're doing something right. Oh.
So
I love you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Now, can you tell my son, who doesn't really feel that sometimes?
I'll send you a link to the audio. You can play it for him.
All right, I will. All right, definitely.
Thank you so much. Congratulations on landing your dream job, the host of 90 Day Fiancé, Love Games with TLC. I'm excited to watch the season. Thank you
so much. I hope people download Discovery Plus. It's a new streaming platform, and it's something that's got something for everyone, every member of your family. Enjoy it, and you know what? We all could use a distraction these days, and I think this is the perfect distraction where you can laugh, You can love together, and you can also scream at your TV. And I know everybody wants to scream at their TV.
If we're not already doing it, I know we want to.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. Have a great day.
Right back at you. Thank you so much for sharing your morning with me.